his harass and his style of drops and his tactics are backed up by amazing macro. I mean, you can't even compare for a lot of players to the idea that someone can be so good at one facet of the game that you strive to improve at. I really pride myself on being, at least, in my case, up to at least Diamond or hopefully Low Master soon, but the joke here is that I'm so happy that I have some kind of macro foundation from Brood War that I feel that a lot of people in StarCraft 2 lack. Thorzain has an insane macro foundation, but also his positioning, decision-making, everything is there. He's a complete player. I mean, look at the unit streaming, and his macro's ridiculous. His production, getting third-tier upgrades on his units, 3 tanks coming at a time, 10 to 12 Marines coming at a time, constantly streaming in. I mean, Thorzain just looking impressive, redropping the 4th. Look at this. Again, I mean, Select's going to clean this up now with the Siege tank, which is really good positioning by him. It actually covers pretty much all of this back space behind these SCVs. But Select is now 2 base versus 1, 2, 3, 4 base with a gold. There's not much you do there. There's actually nothing you do, actually. I mean, I think we're just sort of waiting for a GG at this point. Select hoping Thorzain does something really dumb and maybe tries to like pum push his way into a tank line. Thorzain's not going to do that. He's not a silly individual. He's not a foolish player. He knows exactly where he's at in this game. He's even dropping. Okay, now at the 3rd, stopping this 4th. I mean, Select just his main is cleaned out. His production's gone. Thorzain looking beastly, just absolutely destructive. You can look at him now, doesn't even care, just sending in units everywhere, just flooding the map. Maxed out, has 3,300 minerals banked, 1,200 gas. Select moving up some tanks, getting just annihilated by these 3-3 Marines, are you kidding me? Select has 0-2. Look at this spread. Thorzain didn't even need to do that. That's how good of a player this guy is. If you look at that, oh my gosh, it's insane because he's sitting there on 6 base with entire production facilities just cranking out everything, and he has all these 3-3 Marines that completely out-upgrade Select, but he's perfectly splitting them to get that surround in the concave. Thorzain is just like, I mean, there's nothing really else to say. You can see even then when that crucial fight, or not even really crucial, but that last fight at Select's, I guess 4th, but his 3rd base currently because his main is gone. His 4th was happening. Thorzain unsieging, taking all of his units into Select's production line. I mean, Thorzain just looking out of control, ridiculous with the macro and decision making. But I want to go back to, I think, this base. I mean, when we talked about the original sort of transition, you look at the game developed from 1-1-1 for both players. The deviation comes with the cloak. So Select goes cloak. Select says, I'm going to come in, cloak against your army, cloak against your SCVs, I'm going to do a lot of damage to my Banshees, good micro, keep you from landing that natural. Thorzain landed the natural, knowing that Select's not going to kill his natural, obviously, so there's no reason to keep it in proximity to his Marines, it's kind of a waste. Thorzain lands it, doesn't sort of shy away from his original intent with that timing of getting his fast command center out of his natural, gets out a Raven, gets out a Viking, and calmly just holds. Once that happens, Select goes, okay, you held my aggression, alright, but I still think I can beat you in a macro game. So I've got my expansion up, I've been macroing behind this. Now, as soon as this middle area started being contested, it started being the dividing point in this game. Thorzain sieged up right here alongside this Zelnaga tower, and Select sieged up right here alongside this ramp. We saw a couple of skirmishes as far as drops, Banshee play, etc., but it really cooled down after Select's initial aggression. Now, like I said, as it was happening, Thorzain goes for this early 4th base. Now, what this does is it says to Select, you're going for a 3rd, I'm going for a 3rd. When you're going into 3-base Terran versus Terran, unless someone does some huge blunder in positioning, which we're both not going to do, hopefully, then I think we can both count on each other to play standard and play safe. When this happens, I know that you're unable to commit huge parts of your army to stopping a 4th base that I'm going to set up. So I'm going to take the chance that you're not going to have a huge amount of medevacs out to do drops because you did do Banshee play, and I'm going to siege up and just sit there and let you produce Vikings, let you produce Banshees, and realize that you can't drop my 4th. So because you're sitting back there and comfortable with macro off 3 base, that's fine, I'll take 4 base. It's like, oh, no problem, Select, you want to go 3 base, you want to sit back in macro? Fine, take 4. Not a big deal. I mean, and that's Thorzain's mentality. A lot of people would say, oh, it's like a hidden expansion, it's too fast, or things like that. No, it's perfectly timed. If you look at the mentality behind him doing that expansion, it counters Select's mentality. It counters Select's game plan. Select's whole emotional outset at that point in the game was a standard macro game. Select's a great player, so when he gets into that mindset of that standard macro game, he's not going to be so concerned about these early fourths, things like that. He's thinking, oh, Thorzain's just going to play safe, he's just going to go 3 base like me, he's going to realize he has that advantage because he stopped my third early and he delayed it a little bit and he had an earlier natural, so Thorzain's going to think he has a macro advantage, so I'm going to go for a big army and I'm going to try to get ahead of him. And, you know, we did see Select try to swing around, get ahead of him. By the time Select tried to swing around here and go up this side choke, Thorzain had not only planned to drop his main, but he also had this 4th base fully saturated. I mean, that won the game. That timing by Thorzain, that recognition of the metagame just completely stopped Thorzain, or completely stopped Select. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this replay. I know this was pretty insightful for me as far as TvT only, because I often get, you know, to the point where I'm questioning myself, going, what do I do once it settles into 3 base? Should I be going for drops? What's my advantage play? Like, I know what I can do in the beginning of a game to try to get an advantage or to try to do some damage, but what do I do at 3 base besides just a big fight and hope my positioning's better? And Thorzain really answered that question for me here. Thorzain, you know, sort of explained by his play how to take this early 4th, knowing that your opponent can't be aggressive with it. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed and look forward to more casts from me. And yeah, if you guys have any comments, questions, anything like that, feel free to message me on here or anywhere else. Thanks.